What? Seriously?
They did it. It's here. It's early. They got everything right. Yo. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. I obviously was asleep when these patch notes dropped. And yeah, we're gonna go through them. There's not a lot to talk about, but there is a lot to talk about if you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, oh, strap in, because basically all of your endgame dreams have come true. So we're starting off with the maintenance here. For those of you that don't know what these times mean, the maintenance is going to happen at 8:30 Eastern time. So if you're in New York or you're in Toronto, that's 8:30 p.m. That's an hour and a half after I start my normal stream. And then they're going to run for 4.5 hours, which is shorter than the normal maintenance of 6 hours, and it's also shorter of the most recent maintenance of 8 hours. So I don't really know what to make of that. Hopefully there will be, I mean, I feel bad saying this, but hopefully with 4.5 hours of maintenance, there will be a few extra goodies, possibly some game mode changes. Like, I don't mean like drastic changes, but just, you know, a slight buff to this or a slight change to that. Included in the maintenance, because it's 4.5 hours for what appears to be primarily just skill. Well, it seems like it's only skill changes, but I mean, they're epic. Don't get me wrong, they're epic. But let's just wait and see. I'm not promising anything. I'm just saying. That was my first thought when I saw that it's a 4.5 hour maintenance. Because the maintenance is going until 1 a.m. my time, I will be delaying my stream until midnight, which is 1 hour before the maintenance starts. I will start up playing some different game, and then as soon as the update goes live at 1 a.m., you can jump on the stream, twitch.tv/Cynicalex. This is my self-plug corner segment, and you can check out all of the amazing new stuff and my reactions to it therein. And so you're definitely going to want to check that out, because the update notes are pretty amazing, I have to say. They definitely listened to exactly what we wanted, and then they gave us exactly what we wanted, and then they gave us more. And that's what blows me away. I was like, yeah, okay, Iron Man, sure. Yeah, Captain America, sure. Thanos? Mysterio? Now, you know, there are still going to be people that are disappointed because there are no reworks or buffs to Hulk. There are no reworks or buffs to Black Widow, Nebula, etc. But these changes are immense, and they are amazing, and they are literally pulled from the frames of the movie. They're just like frame for frame reenactments. So we're gonna have to talk about it, and I'll give you my impressions for what I think of what's going on. So, added 6 new uniforms. These aren't actually new uniforms, guys. These are the existing Endgame and Team Suit uniforms. So some people are confused. They're being improved. They're not being re-released. You don't have to repurchase. You're not going to have 2 Iron Man Endgame uniforms in your, in your inventory. You're not going to have 2 team suits. It's just the existing ones that are being reworked. So let's talk about Iron Man first. His uniform effect, his uniform passive is being changed, which I do think benefits him in PvP more, because the shield now only has a quarter of his HP, which is obviously a lot less, but it now refreshes 10% every second. And that's a pretty meaningful amount, because if you are dealing consistent damage, but you're not dealing high spike damage to Iron Man, you're not going to be able to take the shield down, because it refreshes 10% every second, which is double what it was refreshing before, 5%. So whereas it would take, 5% every 1 second, it would take 10 seconds to recharge the full shield at 5% a clip. Now it's only taking 2.5 seconds. So they've divided the recharge time to a quarter of its original time. So he's going to be able to buffer a lot more damage, especially even if you take a bit of spike damage and then you fly into an iframe. Maybe you lose some health, but by the time the iframe is over, boom, your shield is back up. So basically, I think the way that this works, the way that I feel it's going to work, is that Tony's going to have basically 125% max HP. He's almost always going to have an extra 25% buffer, and we're going to see how this synergizes as well with Rescue's leadership, because it says here absorbs 30% of normal shield. So we'll have to see what that does. The rest of it is unchanged. And then he's getting 3 massive skill changes, and this is pretty meaningful. Now he's getting a 2-second cooldown increase on the 3rd skill and a 4-second cooldown increase on the 4th skill. So you do need to pay attention to that. His rotation is going to be a little bit more difficult to do, but he's getting a shield skill now instead of the illusion. So the summons are gone, but he's going to get a shield, which I think is similar to the shield. It's not actually the shield. You'll see what the skill looks like, but it's the theory of the nanotech shield or whatever. He's getting an increase to Delta supervillains, which should be a nice counter to Thanos, possibly, on that skill. And you'll see, we'll talk about the animation in just a second because it's the world. His fourth skill is getting all defense down. Hopefully they've fixed it so that it actually applies to world bosses. Some people might scoff at the fact that it's only minus 25. Keep in mind that this minus 25 is at a level 1 skill, which is the exact same as Captain America's. So hopefully this one will go up to, I believe it's 40 or 50% minus, which is the same thing that Captain America's goes up to. It seems to be the exact same duration as well, 10 seconds, which is beautiful. So I love to see that, and it's called the Stark Sync Special, so I'm sure you can guess what that means and what that animation is going to be. And then the Nano Gauntlet, you can also probably guess what that is. It's not shooting beams out of your hand. He's now going to deal 30% bonus ash damage, not ass damage is what I originally thought, but ash damage every 1 second, and this ash damage is going to stack up to 10 times for a maximum of 300% additional damage. This appears to be a new type of damage. We've never seen ash damage before, to the best of my knowledge as a Marvel Future Fight historian. We're gonna have to see. Maybe they meant burn damage and they just mistranslated it to ash. But maybe it's a brand new type of damage. We'll have to see. He also has 3 seconds of time freeze, which is pretty cool, and it illustrates the fact that he has the full gauntlet, which is amazing. Very nice little touch there. He gets the Doctor Strange time freeze, and then he gets the immunity, of course, as well. So let's check out the skills. I think this is the part that everyone is going to love to see. So third skill, Thor comes flying in to hypercharge him straight out of the final fight scene with Thanos. And the crazy thing is it's a 95 hit skill. That's way more than the old third skill. That's a huge bump to his damage. His fourth skill, guess who comes flying in? Of course, his wife, Rescue. The CEO of Goop comes in to goop the enemies to death. And that also looks like an amazing skill. Also, 237 hits. Hey, guess what? That's a lot more than he was doing with his old corny-ass jet transformation, kind of knockoff, scuffed Transformers shit. So this should be amazing. I cannot wait to use that skill. And then number 5, Nano Gauntlet. Check that shit out. Very, very cool. Doesn't seem to be an iframe, but remember, you have the immunity. But 180 hits, also a humongous number of hits increased from his old 5th skill. So if the damage remains, if the damage numbers remain similar in terms of seeing, it's 49 instead of 30, and then instead of 260 it's 150, that's not a huge difference, 260 to 150. The fact that you're going from 20 hits to, what is this, 180 is bonkers. You're quadrupling or sextupling, whatever the number of hits. Yeah, it looks like Iron Man's gonna do a shit ton of damage, and he might be very, very good for PvP. That's my guess, but we'll have to wait and see. For those of you that tier 3'd him, he's probably going to hit the cap for ABX as well now too, so you don't necessarily have to get Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange is really good for other reasons. But hot diggity damn, Iron Man gets justice. Well, we're going to have to wait and see how the skills play out in terms of the damage and whether the all defense down stacks on the 4th skill, but this looks absolutely tremendous. This looks like literally I could not have asked for more for Iron Man. And then good old Cap America, Cap A, is also getting some changes. 3 skills as well. He's getting the Worthy Uppercut, Captain's Hammer, and Mjolnir's Justice. Now there's not really too much to talk about in terms of the effects of the skills. The actual physical damage and the additional damage is going down for all of these skills, except for 4 and 5. Okay, just 1, because the number of hits is going up. The number of hits on his first skill was 1 or 2 before, and now it's going up to I don't know, 70 or 80. So yeah, and you're getting additional shock damage on all 3 of these skills. Otherwise, they stay pretty much exactly the same. You can see he's got the minus 5% decrease all defense, stacks up to minus 25. That's his 4th skill, Captain's Fist, which we all know is absolutely amazing, and it actually only has a 5-second It also only has a 5-second duration, whereas Iron Man's new all defense down skill has a 10-second duration, and it stacks up to -30. So you don't actually need a lot of all defense down. 20 to 30% is still possibly enough, as long as the skills that you have, the other skills or that skill, deal enough damage. But yeah, otherwise, there's not too much going on in terms of the actual skill effect changes. He doesn't add a bunch of other things except for stun and shock, which is pretty much in line with using a giant hammer and calling down lightning. You're going to get shocked and you're going to get stunned. But it's really the animations. They're absolutely beautiful. Now, he doesn't run around with the hammer, which is fine, but he does call it for the skill. So it's really cool. He puts out his hand. He literally puts out his hand and the hammer comes down. And it starts, you know, hitting. He swings it behind his back, and then he clocks the enemies in front of him. Beautiful first skill, beautiful. Captain's hammer is exactly the same, except now, of course, it has the hammer flying around, and then he brings it up and he slams it down. Again, just absolutely amazing. And then Mjolnir's Justice, he also calls it, and you can see a small little camera shift on 5, where the hammer swings in. And then he uses it to batter the enemies. And look at that, 150 hits. Way more than he was doing before. Absolute carnage. It's going to be epic. And then on top of that, out of nowhere, Thanos is getting a buff. Because if you forgot about him, if you were using too much Jean Grey and Doctor Strange, nah, the big blue-purple guy is back. He's getting a massive buff to his 4th skill. Yeah, I cannot believe this. So his 4th skill was basically just like cancel it and go, you know, and you get a couple meteors falling down, whatever, it's fine. It wasn't really the crux of Thanos' power. You know, Thanos' power is the 5th skill, huge damage. The 2nd skill's got the all defense down. The 1st skill's got the damage or the buff removal. That was really, you know, the Thanos. And then the 3rd skill's got the self buff. But now, holy shit! I mean, this animation is amazing. But look at the hits, 130 hits. Bro, you were lucky if 5 meteors hit you. Now you have to contend with 130 hits of this Warlord Assault, the ship coming down. Oh, by the way, it also has all defense down. That stacks up to -30. That's at level 1, so that could go up to -60 or something. Oh, by the way, there's also 10 seconds of fracture. So, yeah, if Thanos wasn't already the de facto #1 character for Alliance Tournament and Alliance Conquest, yeah, you're absolutely screwed. There's gonna be no way to kill this dude. He's gonna absolutely murderize everyone, you know, ever. The only plus that's possible, the only possible nerf that this skill offers is maybe it's not an iframe, and maybe you can't cancel it too early because you won't get the effect. I don't know. This is honestly a little bit scary. It's amazing as well because I tier 3'd Thanos, but for all of you who were already struggling with Thanos, he just got a hell of a lot stronger, at least in my opinion, because the rest of the damage didn't change. It's still 114% with an additional 178. So this shit just got way stronger. This is steroid territory. And then another huge surprise, Mysterio is getting a buff, a pretty big buff at that. He's getting an additional 100% mind damage stacked on his 4th skill. That's a lot of mind damage, guys. And now his 4th skill summons the Water Elemental, which hits for just a casual 350 hits. Holy shit! Are you serious? 350 hits? Now, it does take a while for those 350 hits to rack out, but presumably you can cancel this into other skills. So this is absolutely bonkers damage. Yeah. Is Mysterio going to be the #1 blast villain for ABX? Honestly, it's possible. Honestly, it's possible. At this point, it's possible. We're going to have to wait and see. This may make Mysterio's uniform a must-buy. So just keep an eye out for that. We're definitely gonna dive in and do a reworked look at Mysterio and see how much more damage he's putting up now. But that is absolutely disgusting. That's a 5-second cooldown to drop 350 hits on your opponent's head. Sadly, no reworks, as I said, for Hulk, Black Widow, and I guess Spider-Man. But damn, I cannot complain with this. 2 villains, 2 heroes. I love the balanced Netmarble, you know, perfectly balanced as all things should be. And that's amazing. And then we get the model being changed, of course, to wear the hat. And that's it. You got to give it up to Netmarble. They listened, and then they listened, and then they listened. Cannot say, yeah. I could not be happier with the turnout on this. Yeah, this is fantastic. So let me know what you guys think of these absurd skill effect changes straight out of Endgame. I honestly want to see the movie again now because these are so badass. I cannot wait to see how much stronger Iron Man is, possibly tier 3 him. Can't wait to see Cap, Thanos, and Mysterio. So yeah, I'm floored. Hit me up in the comments down below. Can't wait to see you guys tonight on the live stream, twitch.tv/Cynicalex. Hit it up. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you on the live stream because there's no more videos today. Take care.